Tonight, I want to talk to you about chasers, threads, taps, chasers, where you should use them on your bike when it comes to either internal threads or on a bolt. Let's get a closer look and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. To begin with, let's get a look at what a rethreading set looks like. And it looks just like this. This is a 42-piece set, and it comes in National Coarse and National Fine, which is on this side. And for our application, or most of us here watching the show, we would be interested more in the metric side. These taps and dies, or chasers actually, they're not taps or dies, they come from 6mm up to 12mm in this set. But let's get a closer look and I can show you the difference between what I'm talking about between a chaser and a die or a tap. Now, on the right here is a tap. You could see that the teeth look pretty aggressive. This is used when cutting threads in a new piece of steel or aluminum. This is your chaser. You could see it looks a lot less aggressive, although it does have some grooves cut in it just like that, and that is what's going to clean up the internal threads or external threads if it's on a bolt when you go to clean up a piece that may be damaged, maybe like this 10mm shock bolt here. It's got a couple little grooves on it, little scratches on it, and you want to clean those up. So you would take your chaser like this, and whether you have it in a wrench or you have it wherever you need it, you're going to run that over it, and it's going to clean out all the grooves that are in the bolt and all the high spots and make that thread nice and sharp again on that bolt. If you were to use a die like this and go over this bolt, it's going to cut deeper, and the nut that you go to put on there, or if you go to thread it into the frame of your bike, it's not going to fit the same. It's going to be a little loose when you put it in the hole, or it's going to be too small when you go to put your bolt on there. So that's why you want to chase it. You don't want to tap it, okay? Now, let's go over to the frame and I'll show you where else this can apply to. Looking on this side of the shock mount, you could see where the frame did have a rubber plug put into the shock bolt. But if you go to this side, you'll see where you could see some rust inside that bolt hole from the other side. I'm going to show you how you can remedy that right now. The hole is right here, and if we go to take our 10mm bolt and go to put it in there, it goes in just a couple of threads, but because of the rust, it starts to tighten up and it's not that easy to get in. So what I like to do is take a little lubricant like this, spray it in that hole, then take my chaser, which I showed you a little bit earlier, looks just like this, and begin to start it in that hole. And then as it gets a little bit tighter, if I have to, I put a wrench on it and give it a couple of turns, go back and forth, and it's going to clean up that thread without doing any further damage to it. It's going to take the rust out. It's going to take off any scaling that might be in there. It's going to take off any paint or anything that may have gotten in that thread when the frame was being refinished. I can now take the bolt that I have, and I'm doing it from this side just for this application so you can see it a lot better. And you can see that just with my fingers, I'm able to tighten that bolt just about all the way through. So remember, you don't want to use a tap. You want to use a chaser when the thread is good, but just has some scaling in it or maybe has some rust. Use a chaser, don't use a tap.